Hello students, in today's video we are going to study another important key element of a democratic government, that is need to resolve conflict. In Maya's story, that is the story of South Africa, we read how conflicts can often lead to violence and death because one group decides that it is all right to use force to prevent the other group from protesting. In this case, the police force decided to use violence to stop the innocent students to protest against the use of another language instead of their own native language. Instead of using violence and brutality, the police would have resolved or solved this conflict in peace. Basically, conflicts occur when people of different cultures, religions, regions, or economic backgrounds do not get along with each other, or when some among them feel they are being discriminated against. The word conflict itself means, or synonyms of conflict are fight, battle, war. That is when competitive or opposition action is taken by people of different ideas, interests, or by people belonging to different backgrounds. Violence is often used by people to settle their differences or settle the conflicts. This leads to fear and tension among other people in an area. Hence, the government is responsible for helping to resolve these conflicts so that these conflicts do not become very violent and so that people do not die. The Indian Constitution lays down the basic rules or laws that have to be followed by every person, no matter what. These laws are for both the government and the people. Conflicts and differences have to be resolved according to these laws. Laws or rules cannot be broken in order to settle these conflicts. Religious processions or religious rallies and celebrations can sometimes lead to conflicts. For example, the route a procession takes place may lead to a conflict. An example of this can be if a Hindu religious procession is marching in front of a mosque. The conflict between the people of different of these two religions can actually take place in this scenario. Hence, the government, particularly the police, play a very important role in getting representatives of concerned communities to meet and try and arrive at a solution. So, in this case, or when such situation arises, police plays a very important role. At times, there is a fear that violence may erupt and people start throwing stones on trying to disrupt the procession or the meeting or a rally. And many a times, these conflicts actually lead to a lot of destruction, not just the destruction of property, but also death of people. So, the police is responsible for ensuring that violence does not take place. It is the duty of the police to stay alert, to stay alert and try to try that the conflict does not go lead to violence or people do not get agitated much, and if the situation gets out of control, then police can take measures to stop this conflict. Apart from the religious and other social conflicts, rivers too can become a source of conflict between the states. A river may begin in one state, flow through another, and end in the third state. The sharing of river water between different states that the river goes through is becoming an issue of conflict, especially in India. For example, You may have heard about the Kaveri water dispute between the state of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The water is stored in Krishna Raja Sagar Dam in Karnataka and is used for irrigation by a number of districts and for meeting the needs of the city of Bengaluru. The water stored in Mettur Dam in Tamil Nadu is used for crops grown in the delta region of that state. Now, the conflict arises because both dams are on the same river. The downstream dam in Tamil Nadu can only be filled up if water is released from the upstream one located in Karnataka. Therefore, both states can't get as much water as they need for the people in their states. Hence, this leads to conflict. Why? Because water is an essential commodity, it is an essential resource for living. And if the need of water is not met, then there will be agitation in the people, and hence it will disrupt the working of the government also. In this conflict, the central government or the government in the center or the national government had to step in and see that a fair distribution is worked out for both these states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Now, let's move on to another two important key features of democratic government, that is equality and justice. One of the key ideas of a democratic government is its commitment to equality and justice. Equality and justice are inseparable, means that you cannot separate equality with justice, means both of them are linked to each other. The earlier practice of untouchability is now banned by law. It is abolished. It is illegal to practice untouchability. This group of people who were treated as untouchables earlier were denied education, transport, or medical facilities, and even a chance to offer prayers in the temples. Dr. Ambedkar, whom we actually read in the previous chapters, and many others like him realize that such practices should not continue and that justice can only be achieved when people are treated equally. It was not only Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, but it was also Gandhiji who said that every person should have a chance to receive equal treatment and ultimately justice. The government also recognizes this, that all people should be treated equally, and hence has made special provisions for groups within the society that are unequal or that are treated unequally. For instance, in our society, there is a general tendency to value and care for the boy child more than the girl child. Boys are preferred more. This means that society doesn't value the girl and boy child equally, and this is unjust. It is not fair to treat a girl and a boy unequally. In this context, the government steps in to promote justice by providing special provisions that can enable girls to overcome the injustice they are subjected to. They are or they were subjected to for a very long period in the past. This is possible that, thus, because of this, fees for the girls is is completely waived or lowered in government schools and colleges. Special seats are reserved for girls. Girl women education or girl child education is promoted. You would have heard this slogan Beti Bachao Beti Badhao in India. All these things are the steps taken by the government to ensure that even the girls or women are given equal opportunities which they were earlier denied, which they were not given earlier. And still, they are not provided with these opportunity in many parts of India, even today. Because of these steps, girls will get a chance to get education, to move forward in their lives and do better for themselves. Equality, if we talk about equality and justice, we saw in the story of Maya, that is in the story of South Africa, how people were not treated equally, especially the colored people or the blacks. They were actually forced to study or forced to learn a language that was completely unknown or alien to them. So, in this way, we can say that inequality in a society can will obviously lead to a lot of conflicts, lead to violence, unrest in the society. Hence, to maintain peace and prosperity in a society or in a democratic government, it is necessary that equality and justice are practiced very nicely.